Hi, Darren here, and thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to talk about the power of thought, how your thoughts influence your reality. I learned a lot about this at around 20 years of age. Up until that point, I lacked the understanding that I had control over how my life would be experienced. I believed that life happened to me and there was only one way to approach it. I was a victim to my circumstances. I didn't realize I had a choice in my experience. It was about this time that the idea of positive thinking, in a sense, was delivered to me. The idea that we could change our thoughts into something much more in alignment with what we really would wish to experience in life. Up until that point, I'd chosen to see often the worst in situations, the worst in people, the worst in life. And I do say it was a choice, but it was a subconscious choice. I didn't understand there were other options and another reality that was to be had, which was much more enlightened. Once I understood this concept of change your thought, change your reality, I embarked on the journey of doing that. And it's not just a journey, it's a discipline and it's work. The first thing I needed to do was to really become aware of the thoughts I was having. I targeted the thoughts which were about self-worth, thoughts of self-criticism, self-doubt. I began to recognize the record playing over in my mind about what I thought about myself and others and life. And the more I became acutely aware of what I was actually thinking, the greater the opportunity I had to change my thoughts and my belief systems and my patterns. So I began to develop these awarenesses of the thought I was having. And the next step from there was to actively change the record, change the pattern. And I did this through affirmation. So you recognize the thought that's one that you do not prefer. It's a criticism or a judgment on yourself. You replace this thought as it arises with this affirmation, a new thought, one that helps you and supports you in looking towards the love that underlies who you are, the acceptance that you wish to have of yourself. So instead of this critical thought, you may have a thought that you start utilizing, or an affirmation you start utilizing, which reminds you that you unconditionally love and accept yourself. And you just don't do this once or twice, but you do it again and again and again, day after day, many times after each other, until the point where that affirmation becomes your new thought, becomes your new framework, and the old modes of thinking and believing start to fade away. It's a powerful tool for change, this, but it's a tool that needs to be worked at and used repeatedly. In my life now, I still have these patterns of thought that come up and new awarenesses of the thoughts that are really operating underneath the surface that I might not have had an awareness of yet. And I still endeavor to uncover these frameworks of belief and transform them. And what worked so brilliantly to begin with was this process of affirmation, starting with that awareness of the thoughts that weren't serving me and consciously seeding new ideas of love and acceptance through affirmation into my being, thus transforming my experience of life into something that I did prefer, something that was much more in alignment with the truth of who I am at soul level. This all takes work, it all takes discipline. It takes a commitment to yourself, a commitment to love yourself more and more every day. But it works. It absolutely works. And in my reading work, I see this opportunity in people so often. Just to say, no, I'm not going to have this experience where I doubt myself, where I criticize myself, where I judge myself. And I'm going to choose something else. And that choosing something else isn't just flicking a switch, it's hard work and it's discipline. And so this really comes down to the tool of affirmations I'm talking about right now as a place to start. It's where I started and it's what worked for me. So once you're conscious of that record player and some of the thoughts you're having that you don't want to be having because you know they're not serving you, from that point you choose some new affirmations, thoughts you wish to seed in yourself. You write them down, you're clear about them, you have them by your mirror, you have them by your bedside, you have them in places where you will see them and you will recite them and you will use them to, in a sense, reprogram yourself. Now, for more detail on this kind of process and for more information on what it really means to change your thoughts and therefore change your reality, I highly recommend the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. It's what I used at the time, and it revolutionized my life. It's not the be-all and end-all of spirituality, but as I experienced, it's one of the biggest spiritual lessons there is. And it's one of the spiritual lessons which will really propel you forward in your life. But in taking that idea, you have to apply that idea with discipline and with a ruthless commitment to improving yourself and improving your life. Again, in my reading work, I see this need immensely. Or should I say this opportunity? And I will continue to echo this throughout everything I do. It is this idea that when you alter your thought, you alter your whole life. It's not the be-all and end-all of everything there is on the spiritual journey, but it's just this nugget, this gem of unbelievable wisdom that can be taken and used to transform your existence into something so much more than you had ever imagined it to be before. So if you feel within yourself that you are a victim to your circumstances, that life just happens to you and you don't have any say in it, then do please look towards this concept and apply it in your life, and I assure you, you will see the difference. You will begin to be empowered and know that you're not a victim to your circumstances. You choose how your life is going to be. It's not that you won't continue to have challenges, but what will happen is you will meet the challenges. You will learn from the challenges. You will evolve from the challenges, and you will become stronger from the challenges. Your whole being will be uplifted. You will reach new and more enlightened levels of being just through this simple process. And the process is simple, but taking action around it is a little bit more challenging because, like I said earlier, it's having a commitment to love yourself more and do it for you and for you to improve your own life. because ultimately you are the only one that can. There's plenty of support and advice around, but it's useless without that commitment to apply it in your life and to change and to evolve into a greater expression of being. It's definitely something I work with in my work, and I'm really excited to go forward knowing that I have the opportunity to work with people in this way and support them in transforming these things within their life. Once again, that tool I suggest is the power, sorry, it's not the power, it's You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay. I couldn't suggest any more strongly purchasing this book and then using it to guide your practice of transformation in this respect. It absolutely works as long as it's accompanied by your commitment to yourself and to improve yourself. Thanks for joining me. Take care, love and blessings. Until next time.